hello, beautiful human. I am Zach. That is Dan. And we welcome to the studio for the first time ever an incredible human being. He is known for his roles in Love Victor, Never Have I Ever, and now the brand new Amazon series. You got to watch it. It's a Prime Video series, but it's, yes.
Yes.
We'll be with pickup. Say hello.
Hi, I'm Michael. Hi.
Michael Cimino.
Hi, I'm Michael Cimino. Nice to meet you guys.
Nailed it.
Woo! Oh my God. It's cool. We're doing great.
Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Okay. I watch Motorheads.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay, you got
Have
to watch it.
you watched Motorheads?
I watched the first two. I haven't seen the whole series yet.
We've watched Motorheads. Dan's watched
I'm
Motorheads.
5 episodes in.
Okay.
My producer Kim's watched Motorheads.
What do y'all think, actually?
I'm going to be very honest.
Yeah.
Literally like 25% into the first episode, I was like, I don't think I'm feeling it. And then it took a turn.
Yeah.
Then I'm in. I find out that your dad is a robber. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm hooked. I'm sold.
Oh, dude, sick, bro.
That douchebag guy brings up the video at the party, and I'm like, oh, I'm into it.
Yeah.
Everything changed from that moment on.
Yeah, I had so many theories that I'm 5 episodes in. I'm like, well, I think this is going to happen. I'm like, who's your mom going to end up with? Who's your sister going to end up with?
So wild.
Dude, yeah, I feel like the show is just like, it's so fun. And like I've been into cars since I was a kid, so this is like a dream job for me to just like be in a show that's like all about racing and cars and like be around it every single day. Like I'm obsessed with it. So it's like to actually see it, when you're filming something, you never know how it's gonna turn out, like ever. And to see like the final product and be like, holy shit, this is actually so fucking good. Like I'm really excited about it, dude.
And by the way, you bring up cars. Like you restored a Mazda Miata.
Yes.
But you have a classic car collection.
Yeah, I have a little.
Do you have like 10
collection.
cars?
I have a lot of cars.
You can talk about it.
A lot of them don't. Some of them don't run. To be fair, some of them don't run. But I have like 5 good runners that are like that they're like fun little cars. And I've been into cars since literally I was like this big, and I've always been obsessed with it, man.
Can you explain that to me? Because like my partner's also obsessed with cars, and I just don't fully. Being honest, like I don't understand.
You're not into it.
Like I love a roller coaster. Like I love the idea of speed. Totally different thing. Though.
But imagine like a roller coaster, but you control it. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know.
I think there's something like really gratifying about like. Even if you don't like to drive, but like modifying your car, right? And like you're in the garage with all your friends, and there's like a common enemy, right? Where it's like, okay, we got to fix this or we got to do this, and we're like, there's a common goal, and then once you do it, you guys all ride in the car together, and it's like, wow, the car feels so much better, and it's like there's this like instant gratification, or there's like a gratification to it. Even if it's like a very frustrating job, there's like something that's really satisfying about it.
Yeah, you fixed it.
Yeah, but it feels like it's just really exciting to, I don't know, like just sit in the garage and bullshit with your friends and like it's like a very like communal thing. And there's this saying where it's like the person that works with their mind rests with their hands. And I feel like there's a lot of things that kind of like you guys wind up talking about that you would never talk about because you're just like, you guys are just like working away and doing something, and it just like pulls something out of your subconscious that like you never really even thought about. You know what I mean?
That. See, sometimes I wonder, I'm like, oh, am I just having sometimes I'm like, oh, am I having stale conversations, whatever? I don't have a fucking hobby. Like my hands don't move.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
my hands do like the same stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's never doing anything new.
Yeah, and you're working with your mind all the time.
Yeah,
you're like talking to people and doing that. And it is like a really nice feeling to just do something. I mean, there's a million different hobbies, but like if something interests you, I'd highly recommend like picking up a hobby. It's so fun.
So okay, what is the first car you actually restored?
The first car I ever had was a 1986 Toyota Cressida, which is like a very obscure, weird car. Like they're like little box cars, and mine was like lowered, and it had like mirrors on the hood, and it was like, and it was loud. Someone chopped the exhaust off, and I just used to be a menace in that car. Like I was like 17, driving around, pissing oil on everybody's driveway, and just like I would just like anytime I'd pull up next to a fast car, I would just rev it up, and I was so slow. But I that was like that experience of like fixing the car with my friends, and like I was really close with my grandfather, and like we would build the car and like work on it together, and like it just I learned so much through that experience, and there is something like really cool about just fixing something that is not supposed to be running or working, and just like being like, oh wow, yeah, this is my car and it's unique and it's me. You know, yeah, it's
You
really
did
cool.
it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's an ownership, and it is unique to you.
yeah, for
There's
sure.
no other car like it. See, this is allowing me to look at this from a new perspective.
Dude, and also like there's a million different cars. Like I have this one it's a very obscure, like I have a 83 Austin Mini, which is like the old school Mini Coopers, like really small, like really weird looking car, and it has like a Honda engine in it, which it's so fast. Like it's actually scary fast. I'm gonna sell it because like I don't want to kill myself in that car. It's really fast, but it's so fun. And when you drive around in that car, people are always so excited, and you put smiles on kids' faces, and there's a feeling about that that's just like so nice, you know?
See, like I like this. There's only genuinely in my whole life so far, there's only 2 classic cars I do plan on getting.
Okay.
It is one of those. It's a little mini.
Oh, really?
I don't know about the Honda engine. That's scary. But like, I don't care. I don't even care if it drives. Like, I just want it in my house. Like,
Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. It's like a little.
they're so beautiful and tiny.
Yes.
And they are a work of art.
Yes.
And you can see the evolution of the car from the very beginning. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And I also want one of them buses.
Oh, the VW bus, the VW bus. Yeah.
I have mixed feelings on the origin of Volkswagen, but I'm still on the fence on it. But there's only 2. It's on the list.
Yeah, I mean, but
Up for
I
debate still.
think it's also like there is something to be said about like when you do have a car that's like that, it's like a time capsule, and like you're like, wow, all these people drove in this car, all these memories have been had in this car, and like I don't know if your family is like, if you have any of your like family cars like from when you were growing up, like, and like riding in your old family car is like, oh my gosh, it just transports you back to a time of your life that like it's actually it's so crazy like how much these things, you don't realize how much time you spend in them.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And like how many memories you make in them. And I feel like that part about it is just like, it's so special. I know not everyone has an affinity for cars like that, but I do feel like it is something that is so universal, and like so many people are so passionate about it and dedicate their lives to this. And like, it's just, I don't know. It's a really special thing for me, to be honest.
How special is it that you get to overlap passions in this way?
Dude, like since I first signed with my agency, I literally was like, hey guys, like in my first meeting, I was like, my dream would be to combine my passion of cars and acting. I want to do something that's like a racing or whatever kind of show. And then fast forward 4 years later, they basically sent me the script for Motorheads, and I was like, this is literally the job that I've been wanting since I signed with you guys. And then you know, I auditioned, and you know, thank goodness, like I wound up getting it. But this has been like a dream job for me, honestly. Like it's really cool to combine passions, and like I mean, you know, I do music too, so like I've gotten to do that with like a few other different projects and whatever else. But like combine like the passion of music with that. But my passion for cars, it always felt kind of like unfounded. You know, everyone's like, why do you have all these cars? Why are you doing this? You know, like there's no point in this. Like this doesn't help you. You're just spending your money on cars, which I am. I still do. I spend a lot of money on cars, but it feels like, oh wow, I trusted my gut, and I just love this so much, and it kind of led me down like a really great path, weirdly. You know, like I feel like that's like a lot of things in life, but that thing in particular, it didn't really have a direction. I just loved it, you know?
What is the biggest thing you take away from this hobby, passion, this thing that like really binds you with your family and friends?
I think just that like, if you put your mind to it, anything is possible. You know what I mean? Like you're literally like, I never thought I would be able to figure out how like an engine works. And I remember as like a kid, I would watch like my grandfather, my dad, or like, there was a mechanic one time, he was working on my dad's engine. And I remember like sitting in my driveway looking at him work on this like van that my dad had. And I was like, I want to be able to do that one day. And I didn't understand anything about cars at all when I was that age. And I was like, that's going to be like such a long way away. But now like I can do that. And it's like, there's something that just makes you feel like, oh wow, I can figure out a lot of other things too. It gives you like this sense of just being able to complete a lot more than you thought you ever could. You know what I mean?
That applied to acting?
Oh, dude, for sure. Yeah. Because there's that it's that kind of mentality of like, you just have to keep making the mistakes until you figure out the solution, right? Like, especially once you start like customizing cars and like modifying them, there's so many different kinds of like different solutions or like different kind of like problems that you'll face, and you have to find like different kind of things and like kind of piece different things together, which is like that just takes a lot of time. But you figure it out by making all the mistakes and like going through different versions of it, and that's kind of, it translates to acting too. Like, you know, I've been through so many auditions, bro. Like probably thousands of auditions. Like I've not thousands, but over 1,000 auditions that I've auditioned for, and like you have to go through that many to kind of like make all those mistakes to get like 4 or 5 jobs, you know? And like, it takes a lot of time, years and years of like dedication. Some people get really lucky. Don't get me wrong. I was not one of those people. I was like, it took me a long time to kind of figure out how to make this all work. But it was I think that kind of mentality of just being like, nothing's gonna stop me, I'm just gonna figure it out, has translated to a lot of different things in my life. Yeah.
Do you ever really figure acting out, or is it really just like an ever-changing thing?
I think if you ever think you figured it out, that's when you've really lost your sense of figuring it out. You know, I think it's like with acting, it's like it's an ever evolving kind of art form, because also as you age, you're playing different roles, and you're kind of like encountering different kinds of subject matter, or like, you know, every character has like a different kind of, you know, maybe a certain amount of research that you need to put in. And I think that is always like a constantly evolving thing. And like, as you also grow and change as an actor, you're also changing your process. Every project, I try to approach it just slightly differently, and like kind of look at the source material and be like, okay, well, I'm going to change my, my approach in this way, and I'm going to focus more on character work, or I'm going to focus more on subtext, or I'm going to focus more on this. And like, you know, you're kind of like building out the world for every project in a different way, which I think is, that's, you know, I'm still early days in my career, but like I am so excited to like work with like bigger actors and learn more stuff, and like the old heads in the game, bro. Like they have so much experience, and like you could tell, like, I don't know if you've ever seen this clip. There's like this clip of Pedro Pascal talking about how he memorizes lines. It's like insane. Like he has this like weird process of like how he like writes the letters down in this weird way, and like he basically associates it in this. He's insane. Like it's actually crazy. But everyone has their own process, and I think like as you kind of like learn more, you kind of learn how to like develop your style and your approach to things, and that's like, you know, the artistry of it all in general, right? But yeah, I think that's I don't even know what the initial question was, but yeah, that's my answer.
That was one of the things I was wondering. Like, is it all that in quest for your own method? Like,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I think for me, I still take class. Like I take classes every week, and I think that I take a lot away from that. Like I think it's good to like always go and just sharpen your tools, and like, you know, work with other actors and fail. You know what I mean? There's like, at least it's like a safe place to fail, so you can really push yourself harder. You know what I mean? If you're failing in front of 1 million people, it kind of can like, you know, it does a lot more damage than like just like being in a class and really pushing yourself hard and trying to fail, and like seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, experimenting. I feel like that allows you like a big space to kind of to grow and expand, you know? But I think that at the end of the day, my every actor's ultimate dream is to like kind of make their own approach and like kind of get their own technique and their own style of how they do something, right? Like, I mean, we wouldn't have like the Ethan Hawkes or you know, the Pedro Pascals, or like any of these people that are like really phenomenal if they didn't kind of like take their own creative approach to the work, and like their own mentality and their own kind of processes. And like, you know, obviously you learn a bunch of different techniques, but at the end of the day, you're going to use a little bit of this, you're going to use a little bit of this, you're going to use a little bit of this, and then make your own style, which is cool.
So how do you approach Love Victor, since that was kind of like your first big break? Like, how do you approach that and that character?
Dude, honestly, I think for Love Victor, like it was a lot more like kind of like character work, you know, kind of like understanding who Victor was, understanding like the family dynamics. Also just like, there's a slew of amazing actors on that show, like Anna Ortiz or James Martinez or like Mason Gooding, Anthony Turpel, like all of them. There's a lot of really talented actors on that show. Isabel Ferrer is another one too, but they basically, I think like a lot of my relationships with those people in general like informed a lot of the work, and like informed like kind of how I approach the material, and like I focus more on like backstory for Victor. And then like, you know, also that was my first big job. So like when you're doing something like that, it's like a lot of like sink or swim. You're just trying to like figure it out as you go along. So like I would try different things all the time and see what worked and see what didn't. But I'm so grateful for that project, dude. It was like the most amazing thing ever of my entire life. Like I still hold that to such like a high regard in my life. Like I learned so much from that job, you know?
I mean, a show that ran for 3 seasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
And wouldn't, I mean, yeah, change your life professionally because you're learning a bunch of skills. I mean, even from episode to episode, from day to day, you're becoming a better actor, I'm assuming.
Yes, yeah, because you're doing it every single day, 16 hours a day. You know what I mean? Like that's like the ultimate version of like flexing that muscle and really getting in those reps, you know? Like you learn so much. And also just that job in general, like it meant something. And everyone knew this means something to a lot of people. We need to like, we have a responsibility here to like represent people. You know, like it wasn't like a thing where it was like, oh, like no one was showing up being like, oh God, we have to go to work today. It was like, no, we're here for a reason, you know? And like everyone was very dedicated to like making sure the message came across, you know?
When does that set in for you? Do you know that going into it? Do you realize the magnitude on set?
I think I knew from the jump. My cousin is gay, and like I really wanted to make sure that he felt seen by this, and like I wanted to kind of like tell a version of his story through the lens of Victor. And like I think for me, like he's like my older brother. Like we've been close since I was like literally born. Like we're so freaking close, and like to me, like when he told me his story about like even like what happened with him when he came out in my family and everything like that, I was like, I know that I need to do this because there's a million other people just like him. And like it meant something to me, you know what I mean? And like because it hit so close to home, and like because it meant so much to like people that I really care about. So like I wanted to make sure I did the job right.
Do you remember the first feeling of that impact?
Dude, when the show came out and I got these beautiful messages, like people just like telling me about their life story and like saying like this show made me like I want to come out, and I'm gonna come out to my family, or I did come out to my family, and this show changed my life. And like the amount of people I've met in real life, like just telling me these things and like crying, and like I like just thinking about it makes me want to cry. But like that's like the only thing that really matters at the end of the day when you're doing stuff like this, right? Is like it's like, oh wow, I'm giving people providing them an escape or a safe space or offering perspective, right? Like that's what you want to do with art in general. And like this a lot of it comes from the writers too, you know, like they did an amazing job on the show. And I feel like the stories felt very like authentic and real, because it was a lot of their stories being represented through Victor. You know, a lot of the writers were really injecting their own kind of stories and their own life into this. So like, you know, I think that's also why it resonated so much with like so many different people.
You said like you were kind of surprised about just how the show had such a positive impact, but like why were you surprised by that? And
I'm a kid from Vegas, bro. Like at the end of the day, like I didn't, you know, I never thought, like I obviously hoped and dreamed that it would get to that point, but like to see that it actually does, like what you do makes a difference. Like, you know, I'm sure you feel probably similarly, and I'm sure you do too, where it's like people are like, dude, I love listening to you guys, and like it is like a safe space for them, you know, like this winds up becoming like a sense of comfort, and like that's something that like, you know, it definitely like has to surprise you at least a little bit when it first happens, you know what I mean? Like, and it did, and it's like it's a special thing to know that like you're in these people's homes with them.
Totally.
It's like you're in a very intimate space. You're in their bedrooms or in their you know, they're listening for you guys, especially like, you know, they're listening to you in the car on their way to work. Like it's like they could be talking to someone, but they're listening to you guys, you know? So like that means something, you know?
Does that change the at least understanding that and realizing that through Love Victor, does that change the way you approach everything moving forward?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, I think for me, I really want to do, like, continuously do projects that, like, have a deeper meaning and, like, there's an overarching message that is important. Even if I'm, like, I would love to play, like, a villain at some point where it's, like, but it's acting as a mirror. You know what I mean? Where it's, like, hey, I am this type of person, and someone that is that type of person is watching that film and being like, man, that's me. I need to wake up.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's the power of this. Like, have you ever, you've had to watch a film and been like, oh, damn, like, I need to change some shit in my life. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
yeah.
I've been inspired going back to Cheaper by the Dozen, realizing all my flaws. Also, I'm so sorry to distract, but like, does it not smell like a KFC in here? It does, right?
There is some food.
I'm not gonna lie. I have a horrible sense. I got punched in the face. I got mugged in London recently.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So I got mugged in London, and since when I got mugged, I can't really breathe out of this side of my face anymore.
Wait, hold on.
Tell that story.
Yeah, wait, where are you? And by the way, I gotta say, the first time we go to London, like we went as a show, and what did I say to you? What did I say, Carlos? Be careful, they're gonna mug you.
Yeah.
I said it.
I went all the way from Los Angeles to London to get mugged.
That's
I know. Like, come on, bro.
not worth the 10 hours.
Yeah. But so I was visiting George actually in Walthamstow, and like that's like northeast London for people that are not familiar with London. But I was like walking to this pub. I was gonna go get a drink and some food. You know, I was like, all right, cool. Like George was gonna go and hang out with his family, so I was like, all right, yeah, cool. I'm gonna go and do this for a little bit. And on my way there, like the sun starts going down, and there's this like little alleyway, and I'm like, this is definitely a little sketchy. You know what I mean? I was like, you know. I literally had the gut feeling like turn around, but I didn't listen to it, which is super dumb. And there's like the church to the left, and then there's like these bushes over here, and there's like a gate next to the church, right? And I'm like, if I see anything weird, I'm gonna just take my headphones off because I had my headphones on too. I'm wearing loafers, like I was an easy target. I'm not gonna lie, like
yeah, you can't run.
Yeah, like I was like, you know, like I was an easy target, so I was already like, you know, kind of fucked there. But so. I was walking and there's like these two women walk past me, and then there's three guys like at the end of the path, and they have like balaclavas on, and they like pull up their balaclavas, and all I see is this, and I'm like, fuck. And stupidly, I decided to keep walking towards them. Because in my mind, in that moment, I was like, if I turn around and run away right now, they could stab me in the back. I don't know why. That was like my initial thought. And I was like, I'm just going to walk towards them. If they pull a knife out on me, I'll give them my stuff. Right? Like, easy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what you
and
you
so,
tell yourself you're going to do in that situation.
Yes. And so then I start walking towards them, and they all surround me. They're like 16, 17-year-old like teenagers, right?
Yeah, they're all kids doing this.
Yes.
I don't like it.
And there was one kid that was short. There was one kid that was my height, and then there's one kid that's like 6'2", 6'3", maybe. Like, he was tall. And the kid in the middle is like my height. You could tell he's like kind of like the ringleader. He's like, hey, bro, you got the time? And I was like, I don't have the fucking time, bro. And I just try to walk past him, and he pushed me into that gate that's like next to the church, and he pushed me. My back is against the wall, so I punched him. And like, cause they started surrounding me. Like, so I hit him as hard as I could. I didn't really have my feet underneath me, or else like I would have got him better. But I punched him really hard. And then I turned, and then the tall kid's right here, and I just literally turned right into the tall kid's punch. And so they're punching me, and I fought them off of me. Yeah.
3-on-1.
Yeah, and then I was like,
This is crazy,
and then
Michael.
afterwards, like, my adrenaline is pumping, my nose is bleeding. I'm like, let's go. And they're like, the tall kid's like, what the fuck? Like, he literally looked at his other friend, he's like, what the fuck? Because like, I don't think like Londoners do this. Like, so apparently they're like, just so everyone knows, like when someone says, what's the time? Apparently that means you are getting mugged. Give me your shit. Like, that's like the universal language. I'm not from London.
Yeah, I don't know that.
And I'm Puerto Rican. I'm like, let's go. Like, you know, like.
But I have this vision of you actually having this moment of crazy.
But
the only way you get out of this, I swear, it's either you're fucking playing dead or you're out crazying these people.
Well, yeah. And so I just was like, let's fucking go. Like, I was ready to fight. Also, like, I knew at that point, like, after I got hit by the first two, I was like, they didn't hit me that hard. I can fuck him up. I was ready. Like, I've been hit harder, so I was like, let's go. And then
what? You've been hit harder?
Yeah, I like.
Who are you fighting?
I like box. Like on occasion, like I love boxing. It's like a really fun hobby of mine. Again, hobbies, they're great. And I love to fight. So like I was down. Like I was ready.
What?
And then so I was like, let's go. And they're like, oh fuck, like what the hell is wrong with this guy? And then I turn, and the first kid I punch, he's crying.
Oh.
And he's like, you hit me in the fucking head, bro. You hit me in the head. And he's like, you don't fucking hit people in the head, bro. And he pulled out a knife. And I was like, bro, I was like, he's already crying, bro. Like, you lost.
You can't
Like, you
cry and
lost,
then
bro.
forget
Just like, what are you
about it.
doing?
Yeah.
Like, bro, you look so dumb right now. Like, you look so lame in front of your boys,
Yo,
bro.
this is
Like,
giving adolescence right now.
Yo.
You see adolescence?
and so I was like, bro, me trying to like, that instantly sobered me up. I was like, think about what you're doing. I was like, it's really not that serious. Like, think about what you're doing right now. You know, because he's a kid. I can
Yes.
tell that he's a kid. And then he's crying and he just runs towards me with the knife like this, like, ah! And he's like, it was like an anime ass moment. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And so I somehow throughout the fight, my jacket, I had a jacket on and it got around my wrists. And somehow, I don't know how that happened, but it like what I did was it just like came over me. I just blocked the knife with my jacket.
Oh, this is a
and I just
movie.
kept backing up. And I was like, I kept telling him like, think about what you're doing. It's not that serious, bro. Think about what you're doing. And he just stopped and he just kept crying. And his friends are looking at me like, what the fuck? I'm looking at his friends like, what the fuck? Like, and I dropped my phone on the floor. And then like the tall kid tries to grab my phone. I grabbed my phone and I ran away. And I got away with all my shit. Actually, like, yeah, I got away with all my stuff.
Nuts.
And, you know, in true, like, British fashion, like, well, so afterwards, like, I ran away. My nose is busted up. I'm, like, bleeding. The kids dipped, you know, and there's, like, a people at the end of the path. They're like, holy shit, are you okay? I was like, yeah, can someone call the police? And then in true British fashion, someone bought me a pint, gave me a cigarette. And it was like, oh, man, dude, like, that beer and cigarette never hit more ever. Like, could have never hit more ever in my entire life. Like, I was sitting at the bar like, wow. This is living, bro. Like, I was like, yeah. So then the cops came. I was fine. Everything was cool. And George came and picked me up. It was fine.
By the way, reality of the situation is this happens numerous times a day all over London, and they are mostly children.
Yeah. It happens all the time. I just didn't know, like, oh, okay, when they say that, you give them your stuff. I just was
I'm
like,
giving them my fucking shit. No, now I say that I'm going there in 2 weeks.
I was say if that happens to you, you don't win
not
the
gonna
friendly.
whip
Dude,
you,
knock
bro.
on that. It's a good log. Thank you.
okay, it's a good log.
Dude, yeah, because I can't
I
respond
was
that
say,
way.
you're not winning that fight.
No,
Like,
I'll
you-
just
honestly,
yell at
though,
them.
like,
I'll just
honestly, though,
scream.
yeah, you could scream or you could, like, you know, I don't know, just give. I mean, you could just give them something.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could be like, bro, I don't got a phone on me, bro, but here's $20,
Yeah,
dog.
the
like,
last thing I need is to give these people my passport, and then I'm stuck in this country.
well, don't bring your passport with you. You know, just don't bring it with you anywhere. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm sweating for you.
No, I
my
was-
adrenaline is through the roof.
But it's a
I
great
just heard the
story,
story.
though.
It's great.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a funny.
phenomenal.
It's so funny. Like, it's actually like I tell the story way too often now. At this point, like, all my friends can basically tell the story for me. But it's such a funny story. Like, it's great.
And they're like children. Like, why is this kid crying? And like, why do you have a knife? And like, is life really that bad?
I
Like,
mean, they're probably
what?
just gonna go to the pub with their buddies. They're like, yo, let's go and grab someone's phone. We'll sell it tonight. We'll go get like $100 and we'll go and get some drinks. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably what they're thinking. They just didn't think that like
You were gonna-
whoever,
you were
yeah,
gonna fight
they
back.
picked the wrong boy in loafers. I'll tell you what. But yeah, it was yeah, it's so funny, bro.
It's iconic.
I mean, it was.
It's up
I
there.
mean, listen, I guarantee you, there is actually so many people that go through stuff like that. Like you said, on the day to day. Like I've heard so many like crazy stories. Especially like my whole family's from New York. So they're like so badass, like crazy.
I gotta say, like, but it's different. Like, we spent many, many, many moons in New York. I've dealt with like many variations of crazy
yes.
for a long time.
Yeah.
It's different. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe back then, maybe it's different now. But like in London, it's like all kid. Like, I've never seen crazy kids, like crazy 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds. Also, is it weird for you to play a 16-year-old? Because you do. Like,
Yeah,
you
I play 16 all the time.
High
Yeah.
school is where you live, bro.
Yeah, I mean, because when I shave this off, I look like I'm 12. So like, you know, like, which is great, you know, but like, yeah, I mean, I think like, luckily I have like a cousin that's really young. She's like 15, 16 years old now. And I'm like, she's like my character study at this point. Like, I'm like, so what are kids into these days? Like whenever like, I hang out with her, I'm always asking her like a million questions. Like, what kind of music do you listen to? What about this? Like, I find it like, so like informing, you know what I mean? Cause like, especially cause I play younger all the time. And I like most people in their 20s are going to play 16 for like until they're 30, basically. It's like,
If they're lucky.
I feel like most do though, to be honest. Right? No? Like I feel
I
like,
don't know.
man, I think about like, okay, just for example, because Ryan's in the show, like Ryan Phillippe played a teenager until like, I think he was 30. Like,
That's real.
yeah, like even my buddy Mason Gooding, he's like jacked, 6'2", like he's a handsome, super handsome dude. He looks like a grown ass man. He was playing like 17, 16 until he was like, 26, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's so common. You know what I mean?
Is there any part of you like trying to like have a better high school experience than the one you had? / like you ended yours early?
Well, yeah. So I did online school for high school. So
The whole thing?
whole thing. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because so I grew up in Vegas, right? So back in like 2014, 2015, right? There wasn't really like the whole self-tape culture, which is like the thing now. It's like you could just send in a tape and they will actually watch it. But back then, if you sent in a tape, you were being lazy. Like they didn't want to watch your tape. So you had to go in. That was the only way that you're actually like going to make any headway. So like major shout out to my mom. But since I was like 13, we would drive from Vegas to Los Angeles, audition, and then drive back the same day.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a rock star.
Yeah, my mom is like literally amazing. And then when I was 17, I started doing it solo. And then when I was 18, I moved out here by myself. Like for all that time, I only booked like one or two little things, like a small commercial here and there and like whatever else. So it took like 5 years of doing that. And then I moved out here. I lived in like a 2-bedroom apartment with like 10 people when I first came out here. And just like, just trying to make it work. And then, 8 months later, I wound up booking Annabelle, which is like, my saving grace.
Yeah, it changes your life.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it changed everything. High key, yeah.
I got to see, like, people don't get it. Like, there's, like, to make it as an actor, like, a part of that journey is, like, living in an apartment with 10 people.
Yeah, yeah.
And literally, like, and it's the support of those around you.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think it's also just, like, if you really want to be in the arts, like, it is usually very competitive. You know what I mean? Like, especially, like, some people just have it. Some people are really lucky. Some people just get like, their first audition they book. I've heard that story like quite a few times, which is insane to me. But like for me, I started when I was 13. I did not book barely anything until like I was 18, So it's just everyone has like a different story, and like you have to just be kind of like a little crazy, to be honest, to be like, I'm just gonna keep doing this until something hits.
What drew you to it?
So I actually always loved music. That was like my first love. Like since I was a kid, I always wanted to do music. And then someone at my church was like, hey, like I was very religious growing up, and they were like, hey, like would Michael want to take an acting class? I know like he likes music, and so I fell into it and I like loved it. So I've been taking classes since I was like 8 years old.
What did you love about it?
I think just that like it was just like pretend, like we're just playing pretend. We're all having a good time. Like also like I was young, so it was mostly focused on like improv and just like being goofy and silly. And it was like a safe space where you can just like express yourself in any way. And I think that is something that still really draws me to it, is like, when you connect to like this creative consciousness, so to speak, right? Like you have to just like not judge it. You just like spit it out, and like whatever it is, And I think that part about it is really exciting for me. It's like, it's always being so present and like representing like the human condition. As I got older, that was kind of like the thing that really drew me to it, to like continue pursuing it. But I think initially it was fun, it was exciting. And like, I loved like hanging out with other kids, like, and, making friends. And, my acting coach at the time, her name was Karina. She just made it really fun and exciting for me,
How do you balance like that presence and like kind of like letting the creative kind of come through, like whatever that may be, with also like keeping to a script and blocking? And
yeah, I feel like everyone kind of has like a different way of doing that. I think there's like a weird in between where it's like you're fully in the scene, but you're also knowing like, okay, like I still have to be like, because let's say if you're doing like a scene where you have to be violent or you have to do whatever, you're not gonna punch them in the face. Like, you know what I mean? You're not going to do that. So you have to have like restraint and like control over yourself, and not like fully go into like this like, space where you're just like doing whatever and you have no control over yourself. But you have to also be like, there's like a line that you teeter where it's like, it's not too much. It's just the right amount. And like, there's like, you're present and you're like both sides of your brain are working, I guess would be like kind of the best way to explain it, even though it's not literally, but that's what it feels like. It's like there's one side of my brain that is conscious and it's me and I'm making decisions, and then there's another part of my brain that is locked in on the scene, focusing on the acting part, and then this part is like focusing on the blocking, and then this part is like focusing on like engaging with the other actor and like, you know, doing that sort of thing. And, you know, like watching the nuance of their face and being like, okay, well, that different reaction is going to inform my next line to give a different performance. It made me feel this way.
So it's all very conscious.
Yeah. I mean, you should approach, like, I feel like great actors approach, not saying that I'm, you know, whatever, but like, I think great actors approach the work very consciously and thoughtfully, you know, like, because again, we are representing people. I feel like the thing I love about it is like the representation of the human condition. You know what I mean? Like film and TV is I think arguably the best way to do that. I mean, music is also another amazing way to kind of do that, but I think through film and television, it is actually the representation of the human condition. Like it's a bunch of humans or aliens, you know, whatever, doing all this weird, crazy shit that like, you know, people do go through. And then you're like, so when you do these kind of things, you want someone that has been through that to watch the film and be like, wow, I feel represented by this person. Or like, wow, that was accurate. I feel seen.
Which character have you portrayed that you feel most represented by?
Honestly, like probably Zach, I feel like is like, just because I based him so much on like the people in my family. Like, I think I wanted to make sure that like other kids that are into like cars and racing felt like, oh, that's me. And like that feeling of like getting in the car and like almost winning your first race or like that. There's a feeling of that is like, it's so hard to describe. And like, I really wanted to make sure that felt like legit, you know what I mean? And I think that like, that takes, that's a special thing for me. It's a very special thing for me. So I wanted to make sure that other people felt like it was special, just like Victor, just like, you know, whatever other stuff that I've done. Like, I always want to make sure that it just feels like it represents people accurately.
Yeah, you felt all that before.
Yes.
You did all that before.
And I also want to do characters that I haven't done before too, where it's like I'm really have to do the research and like kind of like dive in. I did a project recently called Street Smart with Catherine Hardwick, and she's like,
It's a feature?
Yeah, it's a feature. It's like an indie film. And bro, Catherine is amazing. Like, she was so fun. And like, you know, when you do a lot of commercial projects, you're really like, you know, married to the lines. You have to make sure that you're like saying everything, because there's like a list of approvals that like this stuff goes through, right? So then like when you're doing something like an indie, there's like no rules, you know, there's no guardrails. So you can really kind of go off the rails. And I think like that was so fun for me to just like really just go off the rails and like just do a bunch of different stuff. Every take I was doing something different and changing the line a little bit, or, you know, trying to change my performance, or, you know, doing this. And it was just, that was so fun for me. And like, in that character in particular, he was like, it's about like a bunch of homeless 20-somethings that are like all artists and creatives, and they're trying to kind of like figure it out. You know, like they all came from different backgrounds. Like some of them are from group homes. My character has bipolar disorder. And, you know, he's like, has like a weed addiction and blah, blah, blah. And so like, you know, just doing all the research and like making sure like there is like a thoughtfulness to everything that you do, because like that's a big thing. Like people struggle with that. And like as you start listening to people's stories, or like if you watch like there's I had to go down like a really big like research loop, right, where I'm like researching people that have bipolar disorder and watching like videos of people like having manic episodes, or watching people have depressive episodes, and watching like, you know, doctors talk about like what's the best thing for when you have bipolar disorder. I'm like so well read on it now at this point. But it was super educating, but also I'm like, wow, these people like really don't have a lot of representation in film and TV that feels accurate, like at all.
So how do you ensure that yours is accurate?
I mean, try your best. You know what I mean? Like talk to professionals, talk to people that like have had bipolar disorder, do your research, you know, like be thoughtful about your research. And like, I write notes. Like I'm a furious note taker because I have horrible memory. So I just write everything down. If I find something that like I think sticks out to me, I write it down. Anything, even if it's like not valuable later on, like you don't know what can be like a little piece of information that like really sticks out to you. And like for instance with Street Smart, something that really stuck out to me was they do street sweeps in Venice Beach, where they come and they just take everyone's shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And bro, there was this one video I watched where this guy, they took this guy's stuff, and his birth certificate was there, his ID, his son's death certificate, all of his most important documents and they threw it away. And it's like, how do you know how hard it is to get an ID when you have a birth certificate?
No, yeah.
It's like impossible. Now you're just lost. You have nothing. You know what I mean? And it's like like that. Watching that video made me cry. Sorry, I punched the mic. It made me cry like so hard because I was like, these people never get seen and people never see them. They're just like trying to blend in, just trying to get through the day to day. But it's like it's so hard. And then they're spending 6-7 months just to get their paperwork back to then maybe just get it thrown out 2 or 3 weeks later.
You realize really quickly that like so much of the system and the law is very much designed to like
keep people down.
Yeah, once you're down, you're down.
It's hard. It's so hard to get back up.
And any of the assistance programs that are available are very complicated. It's laborious and
it's like a full-time job just to get in that. Yes.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, and they're like, and then the people that do take their stuff, they're like, oh well, yeah, if you just go to this place, they'll figure it out for you. And it's like that's not how that works. And you know that. You guys are like, I get it. Everyone has a job and like, they do, but like, like people have to be conscientious of like what they're doing to people's lives. Like you are literally ruining people's lives to get, a little bit more than minimum wage, which I also get it. They're trying not to, there's like, it's such a complex issue, but like, it's so fucked,
But
man.
like, what an interesting way to be introduced into that universe and also to be like kind of thrown into the education of it all.
Yeah.
Is through preparing for a role.
Yes, dude. Yes. Like you have to, you know what I mean? And like, we have such an important job, like there's so many people that like will do something, representation was such a big topic, like 5, 6, 7. I mean, it still is, but like, I think like there was so many people that did not feel represented by these roles that were coming on film and television. And they felt like lost and like, wow, they don't understand me at all. Or whether it's the writing, whether it's the acting, whether it's the whatever. So it's really important to make people feel seen, because like, I don't, what is your favorite movie?
Oh, actually, I've never really thought of that. Well,
No
I don't
way.
know. Like, I look at a
That's a pretty
movie.
deep question.
No, but like a favorite movie that I could watch 1,000 times and love is Die Hard.
Die Hard, really? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
I mean, I just like action. I also love the characters.
Okay.
I like that it moves at the right pace.
Okay. Is there anything like in particular that kind of like a particular message that kind of sticks out to you that makes you, every time you watch it, it feels like
Family's unbreakable and friendship can form in any way. You never know. It can come from the most unsuspecting of places. You know what I mean, Dan?
Yeah, for sure.
the overarching message of family and friends can come from anywhere, right? That's a universal message for a lot of people, whether you're, someone that is in Die Hard and like lives that kind of lifestyle or you're a normal person. That's a message that like transcends.
Universal.
Yeah, it's universal. And I feel like that's the power of film and television, where it's like it provides an overarching message and it makes people feel comfortable. It makes people feel seen. I feel like it makes the world a better place. It can, at least.
Oh yeah. It brings visibility to stories in a way that like, you don't necessarily know you're being told something that you need to be told.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
Yes, it is.
Does having all the thousands of hours that you've clocked now as an actor, does it make you a better musician?
I feel like it definitely informs the way I kind of like approach music. I have a lot of really, really talented friends at music. Like a lot of my really close friends are musicians, and like I feel like I've learned so much from them like over the years. But I think intentionality is something that like in attention to detail is something that transcends into any kind of like art form, any kind of anything really. If like you're very attentive to the detail and you're like, okay, well, as I'm listening, I think the keys over here, they're not sounding right. Like there's something in the keys that are kind of contradicting with maybe the strings or the bass. Like you don't have to know exactly what you're talking about to just be able to listen and trust your gut, right? And that's kind of like acting. You have to just like listen and feel, and then you have to trust your gut on the reaction, right? And I think that is something that definitely like transcends into music. Obviously, it's a different discipline entirely, but like I think there is something that's like the intentionality of like writing lyrics, or the intentionality of like, okay, why are we putting this instrument in here? Like, yeah, some things sound cool, but is it too much? Are we doing this just to do it? Or is it like, is it like a purpose? Does it move the story along? I think I approach it more of like a storytelling kind of perspective versus just like let's just make something that sounds cool.
When you're writing originals, right? By the way, you released music in 2022. That's the last time you released anything.
I
right?
have a project. I'm releasing it.
Oh, really?
I'm releasing a single on the 16th of this
what?
month. Yeah.
Sick.
And it's called Superhero. I've been working on this project for basically 2 years. I've just been cooking away on it, and it's just been like a process to find someone that like would either distribute it or whatever. And so it was like a lot of stuff like that. So it took a little while to like kind of find the right team to like help me push it. My friend Nat Slater was always in the room whenever we wrote any of the songs, and I feel like it did make a big difference. She has like such a delicate touch to like the lyrics and the melodies, and that I do feel like it's an exciting time because it's like going to become a female dominated industry, and I think that that's like really freaking sick. At least I hope on the business side too eventually, but right now, as far as like because the business side, it's a male dominated side, but I think as far as like performers, like these acts that are coming out, like I mean, even at Coachella.
Who are you thinking about?
Huh?
Who are you talking about? Or when you're talking, who comes to mind?
I mean, okay, I just at Coachella, like Charlie XCX, Clairo, the Marias, Jenny, like these are Gaga. Like, come on, bro. Like these are like Sabrina Carpenter. Like these are stars, and they are bringing so much to this shit, and it's like such a new, fresh take, and they're all like they're all themselves, which I think is exciting too. Like when you watch someone like Charlie, she is very much like her own artist. You know what I mean? She kind of like paved her own way. Or Gaga is like so her own person and her own thing. Like I think like the cool thing about it is like she doesn't really give a fuck if someone likes her music or not. She just does it because she fucks with it.
Well, that like you got to do art like that for
Yes.
you and nobody else. And like once you do it for you, then you find people who are just like you, and the mutual understanding takes place, and
Yeah.
a bond that's like really special is formed.
Yes.
Same thing you get from a movie to a certain degree, but this is very much direct from who you are as a person, I would assume, right?
Yeah. Music is definitely. I think that was like one thing that I did have to kind of like learn how to do is like be more open about myself and like
Totally.
because like as an actor you're like always like hiding behind a character. You're like, I don't really matter. I just want to just be this character. But I think with music it is more of like it has to be more of a personal experience. It has to be more authentic. And I think that that's like something that's like kind of a weird balancing act between like acting and music, you know what I mean? Because like you do want to just kind of just blend into your roles and just like, because at the end of the day, I don't really feel like my life matters that much as far as like the scope of my art. But with music, like it does matter a lot more than with acting.
And there is also this thought of like, you do pause who you are to become all these other people.
Yeah.
So like you're not really living that much life while shooting 3 seasons of Love Victor or Never Have I Ever or Motorheads. Like there's just not a lot of room there, right?
Yeah, you're kind of just like chilling. Like you're working and like you're like part of the process, and then you have like months off. You know what I mean? That's like I feel like that's my download time. Like I have my upload time where it's like where I work and I put everything I have into my work, and I kind of like just disappear from the face of the earth, and then like when I come back, then I that's my download time.
You try to catch up on being you.
Yeah, like hang out with friends or like like spend time with my family or I don't know, just like pick up new hobbies. I think like you learn a lot about yourself through hobbies. Like I'm a super big hobby person. Like
I could tell.
Yeah.
You're getting me into it, man.
Yeah, dude, you should definitely pick it up, bro. It's so fun.
What is this hobby thing that he keeps talking
Have
about?
you ever tried rock climbing?
Do I look like I've ever tried rock
Oh,
climbing?
listen, I'm just saying, it's so fun, actually. It's really fun.
Yeah, but like, no offense. Like, you're ripped. Like, you have like core strength and strength at all. Like, you can do, like,
But, bro,
I wouldn't be like dangling from a rock unless like I was tossed off of a fucking cliff. like the idea of that ever happening is not.
Dude, you should give it a shout, though. It's really fun, honestly. And there's like a really cool community about it. Like, because like if you go to the rock climbing gym, there's going to be a bunch of people there that are like, oh, here, let me help you. Like, if they see you're struggling, it's a really cool vibe, and I love that.
Yeah,
about
but
it.
like struggling is different than like just physically unable. Like, it's not like.
You'd be surprised, dude. I bet you could do
What?
it. Yes, I bet you could do it. I bet you could do it.
I haven't.
Maybe that's a good hobby you should try. Maybe you'll be into it.
Michael, I can barely stand up straight. I barely have the core strength to do that.
But maybe once you start rock climbing, you will be able to stand up
I
straight.
can only imagine all the crazy muscles that
Bro.
have laid dormant in my body since birth.
Dude, that is one thing. When you climb, you get so strong. Like, I don't know if you've ever like shook hands with a rock climber.
It's scary.
Bro, they're so strong. Like
Yeah.
someone that really does that shit like all the time.
Man, their hands are nuts.
Bro, they're so strong. It's insane, bro.
But, a lot of I keep meeting just out at socially at parties there's groups of actors that are around maybe early 20s or whatever, and they keep doing the same types of roles and they're ripped, and the way they get ripped is just by climbing on fucking rocks.
Yes. Yeah, dude. Like, it's the best core exercises. Like, either that or boxing, I'd say is amazing for core, because it's all these twisting motions, and then with climbing, it's a lot of stability, right? You're just you're tightening your core to make sure you don't swing around, and
Damn.
yeah.
I would swing.
Michael, what's it like being cast as the heartthrob in these shows?
To me, I'm still a little fat kid from when I was younger. So it's weird, but I don't know. I don't really think about I don't really think about it like that. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. It's cool, I guess. I don't know.
Do you feel like you're typecast?
No, I don't think so. At least I mean, I don't know. From my side, I feel like I a lot of the roles I get are to me, I try to bring something else to it every single time.
Totally.
For Street Smart, he's so different. And for Motorheads, obviously he's this other kind of more badass, whatever. But then Victor was he was a sweet guy, and he played basketball, and he had an edge to him, but he was sweet, and he was navigating something completely different. And then you go to Never Have I Ever. That was definitely more of that type of role, but he's a completely different kind of vibe too. So I think for me, I just like to stretch. I just want to keep doing different stuff, but I honestly never think about it this guy's the heartthrob. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm gonna be that guy. Because I don't really want to be the internet's boyfriend. You know what I mean? I want to just be me. Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah, that's nice, I guess.
Do you let the internet know I'm not looking to be your boyfriend?
No, maybe I should.
PSA?
PSA.
You ever watch fan edits?
Yeah.
Fan edits can be crazy.
What's funny is it's mostly my friends that will show it to me. Or they just clowning on me. You know what I mean? So they're they'll just be hey, watch this, and they'll send it to me. But I feel it's fun. It's funny. You know what I mean?
When do you realize that you're attractive? Real question.
I don't know. I think when I can look in the mirror and be happy with myself, I'm oh cool. I like the way I look right now. You know what I mean? And that's kind of all that really matters to me.
Great answer.
Yeah. I feel it's just I don't really. I think when I was younger, I definitely was relying on a lot more of the outside sources to validate how I was feeling. Totally. But I think as I've gotten older, I'm that doesn't really matter. Because at the end of the day,
convenient that everybody on the internet's talking about how good looking you are, but
Do you like yourself with or without facial hair more?
I love myself with facial hair.
Yeah.
I think I feel like me, and I like myself with long hair because it feels like I'm myself. But when I can look in the mirror and be oh, that's me, and oh, I like my style, or oh, I like it. That's really honestly the only thing that matters at the end of the day. And I think for a long time I was so dependent on oh man, well, if I post this picture, it'll do better. And that means that, I was also trying to move the needle in a way. But I think now I'm I don't really care about being that type of person. I just want to take care of my body, be happy with the way I look in the mirror, be happy with the way I feel in my body. And that's kind of it, to be honest.
Yeah, take roles that challenge and fulfill you.
Yes.
But that comes also with confidence. That comes with 3 seasons of, I don't know, at the time, one of the biggest TV shows. Really, Love Victor was everywhere in the topic of conversation, and in ways culture has those conversations about TV shows very, very infrequently. It happens once every 5 to 8, maybe 10 years. And it was one of those shows. It's just real.
Dude.
It was one of those shows.
It was just really special, bro. That job was just it was the best. And everyone was so fucking cool. You don't often get jobs where you love every single person. It was like a fam, But
what a beautiful thing to also supply this foundation that allows you to not care about moving the needle and just caring about you and your craft and happiness.
Yeah, Facts.
It's cool.
I mean, obviously, like, you can get wrapped up in that, you know what I mean? Like, cause like life happens, you got bills to pay, you got like things to do, you're like, shit, like I need to keep moving the needle. I need to do this. I need to do this. But I think that can also lead you astray as far as like being an artist. Like, you might not actually have as big of an impact as you thought you would because you're not really being authentic to like yourself or to what really speaks to you and your artistry. You know what I mean? You could be like, well, I'm going to take this job because I feel like it's a good paycheck, or, because because I feel like it's something that will get me a lot of exposure, which obviously you have to balance that out, but I think that at the end of the day, like, the dream would just to do all the jobs that actually, that only jobs that I really want to do, only jobs I want to care about. And I think I'm like starting to get into that place where like I'm only just doing stuff that I love, which not that I haven't done that before, but you know what I mean? Like, I just want that. I want it to stay like that.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you have music coming. That's right. I didn't know your album was like literally on the horizon.
Bro, I've been working on this thing for
2 years.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I've been cooking on it for a minute, bro. Like, but that's like kind of the nature of it, right? It's like, I was just like, all right, I want to make something that's cohesive. I want to have like because the other stuff I was putting out, I think it was fun and it was creative, but like, it wasn't necessarily the most cohesive sound. And I really wanted to make something that was cohesive, have someone that was like really like creating the through line as far as like the production and the sounds. And like, this has a lot of strings and it's like very cinematic, and there's a lot of like R&B melodies and a lot of background vocals, and there's like this pop element to it as well. So like I'm really happy with this project, and like I can't wait to put it out in the world. And it was like such a signifier of my time, of my life at that time, and I can't wait to like move on, make more music. I feel like, because I've worked on this for so long, I feel like I haven't been able to really like start making new music because it's not done yet, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
yeah,
it really isn't done until you give it to the world.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all going to fall into place.
Yeah, dude.
God, it's coming.
This is a good log. You said,
I'm telling you, that shit's real lucky.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna hold you to this.
Yeah.
And like, who knows? Maybe in like 2 years, I'll be like, dude, that log, crazy.
No, I guarantee the log is why. 100%. And you're way quicker than 2 years. God, your timeline is so long on things.
But that's like, but realistically, that's been my life. Like,
everything takes 2 years.
Dude, you know how long it took me to book my first like big job? 8. Yeah. It took me 8 years. Or, no, I'm sorry. It took me 10 years from starting to take classes to booking my first job. So like, and it took me 5 years of like starting to make music to the place I'm at now.
Why did you keep going?
I don't know. I'm really hard-headed, I guess. Like, I'm just stubborn. And like, I think I've always had the mentality of just continuously showing up. I wasn't always really like, I'm not naturally gifted, really. Like, there's people that are just like, they just are so good off rip. I was not that way, like, at all. I was really not that good when I started. I think someone saw something in me, but I didn't see it in myself, and I wasn't very good, but I've just like always showed up. And I think like consistency is better than being perfect.
So real.
And like, I actually, this is a random major shout out to Rebel Wilson. This is a random shout out to Rebel Wilson, but I did this movie with Rebel a long time ago. And she was talking about how it was just so much more important to just continuously be like consistent and just show up and just do what you got to do. And that goes a lot farther than like being perfect, but only putting something out once every couple, 5, 6 years, because like there is something about being consistent and just continuously doing it over and over and over again. And also that's how you get better, is by doing more, getting those reps in.
By showing up is how you learn.
Yep.
Damn. Very real. What happened with you and a dog? Did a dog bite you?
Oh, yeah.
What's the deal?
Dude.
A friend's puppy?
Yeah, my friend's dog. Yeah. I actually, like, I still see the dog all the time. Like, that's my boy. But it was like, that's my boy. But yeah, like,
What?
he was just a puppy, man. Like, and I was like petting him, and I think I just like got him a little overstimulated, and he bit me in the face, and I had to go to the hospital. I got like.
How old were you?
This was 2022. This was pretty like 3 years ago.
So like, is Love Victor all out by this point?
Yes.
So everything's out and you're in between jobs.
Yes. And I just got bit in the face by a dog like after.
Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah. It was like literally, I think actually just right after, it was right after I finished filming season 3.
Do you have a scar?
Yeah, right here. I mean, I have one of the sides. I have a mustache right now, so you can't really see it. But like, you know, my lip line is a little misaligned and whatever else. But like, I actually think it kind of, ever since it happened, I started booking way more jobs.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I think it was like I had like started playing the more edgy roles, which is cool. Like after that, I wound up getting Ethan and you know doing like a bunch like other more like edgy stuff. So
I was gonna ask, like, were you nervous when you first got bit, thinking it could affect your career?
oh, dude, yeah. I was like, I'm fucked. I was like, I'm never gonna work again.
I was
like,
wondering if you were going to sue this man.
well, no, this is my boy, and I'm an animal lover. I have 3 dogs and 3 cats. I have a small zoo.
A man needs to eat if he can't get a job. I don't know what to tell you.
But no, I would never. Yeah, I just was like, you know, it is what it is. Like I get it. Like you know, shit happens. So I just like I let it go. He did like wind up spotting me for like a lot of the you know like the surgery bills and stuff like that. So that was like. It was just like it was like, yo, I'm not gonna come after you, but like, would you mind helping me out with this? He's like, bro, of course. So it all worked out. It was cool. Yeah, like after I got it done, like I healed, and it was just like, okay, cool. Like it is what it is, you know. Like if a scar is gonna really like stop my whole career, then like, you know, I'm fucked. Like you know, I wasn't meant to act anyways. But I think like when it first happened, I didn't see it. Like, I couldn't see my face, you know what I mean? I was just like, he bit me, and I went like, oh, and then I like moved my hand, and then just like blood was just dripping down. Sorry, I don't know if this is too graphic, but it was like just dripping into my hand. And I was like, hey guys, I think I need to go to the hospital. And they all looked at me, and they're like, yep, let's go to the hospital. Like, everyone was so chill about it, you know, like, no one was tripping. I was like, let's just go to the hospital. They started grabbing some like tissues. I was like, grab paper towels because I won't leave like stuff in my face.
Yes.
And then that was it. Then I just went to the hospital. And then like when I saw it, I was like, oh shit, that's like, it was big, but it was like a straight line. It was easy. And they just patched me up.
Your poor face really goes through it, dude. Like,
dude, it's
dogs, mugging.
I got some Motorhead questions.
Yes.
Did you do your own stunts? You get to drive these cars yourself?
Dude, I wish, man.
They wouldn't let you?
Well, okay, I did get my stunt driving certification, right? Like I actually did. I went on my own dime. I went and did it. I like learned how to. I did some stunt driving courses,
cool.
and I love it. It's so fun. But basically, once I got there, the reality kind of set in where it's like, okay, realistically, safety of not only like everyone around me, like, and I did the courses, but I'm still pretty like unexperienced as far as like, you know, being a stunt driver goes, right? Then, you know, on top of that, like, let's say I hurt someone or I hurt myself, we're set back for weeks in production, you know what I mean? And then like on top of that, it's like,
real.
It's just the like, you know, like it costs production so much money and we're like really trying to do something. So it's like, at the end of the day, that was the right move. I am prepared. I'm like still practicing driving. I'm hoping that whenever the moment arises, like, hey, your stunt guy isn't here yet. I'm like, I got this. You know what I mean? Like that's like in my head. That's how it's gonna play out. Yeah. But I think like, you know, for Motorheads in particular, I'm not Tom Cruise yet. I can't like fund my own insurance and do all that kind of stuff. I'm just not there. But you know, like I don't got the bread for that. But you know, maybe one day. And I definitely want to get to that point for sure.
Very cool. By the way, you got to watch Motorheads. It's waiting for you on Prime Video. We're going to put a link below. Plus, if you want to listen to Michael's music, it'll be on Amazon Music.
Yes. It'll all things.
What are you thinking?
Well, maybe I'll get some of these questions when I watch the next 5 episodes. But as an older brother, would you rather see Caitlyn end up with Curtis or Kiara? Because I think your sister's kind of into Kiara.
I mean, I honestly like. That's tough because I feel like they have a bond. Like Curtis and Caitlyn have a bond over like the racing, like in the car stuff. That's like a kind of like a very special
and they
thing.
Think they're in love.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to ruin it, but it does feel like they are pretty in love. I'm not gonna lie. Like, and it I don't know. That is like they have like something that is bigger than just like attraction that like bonds them together, which I love. Like, and I think that they're to me, if I was looking for a partner, I would look for someone that's like also interested in like the creative field or whatever. So like if they're both interested in the same thing, it kind of, you know, that translates. They have way more to talk about, way more to bond over. They spend time together in the garage, you know, like I think that's cool.
And I think the craziest twist that I'm waiting to see what happens, does your mom end up with Harris's dad or does your mom end up with your uncle?
What?
Yeah, I think.
What?
Ryan Phillippe?
Once Ryan Phillippe, how do you pronounce the last name?
Phillippe?
Once Ryan Phillippe gets your mom the car, her childhood car, I'm like, there's something special going on here.
I mean, I think that he just feels very responsible for like his brother being gone. You know what I mean? Like he's like this poor woman, and these are my nephews and my nephew and niece, and it's like we're kind of like his surrogate kids. You know what I mean? So he definitely feels like a responsibility over her. I will say there is like some sort of like it does feel like a little bit of like a sort of tension.
Yes.
But she also definitely has a tension with like Harris's dad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I again, no spoilers, but I do feel like there's more to be explored really in season 2 of like kind of like the whole love triangle-ness or like the love of everybody and everything like that.
Will you win over Alicia?
Yeah,
Will you steal Harris's girl?
Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I wow her by I don't know.
Winning a race?
Maybe. Oh. Maybe, who knows?
I got 5 episodes to watch. Maybe all of these things get answered already and I just need to watch.
Maybe. Who knows?
I've made it 3 episodes in. I want to keep going.
Yeah,
you got to watch with us. Motorheads is waiting for you on Prime Video. Michael Cimino. I really appreciate you, man.
No, dude, thank you so much for having me, bro. I appreciate it. This was really fun, actually. I had a great time.
Really special. Come back.
Dude, yeah.
As you release stuff, release albums, we're always around.
Dude, sick, man. Yeah, thank you so much for having me, bro.
Michael Cimino, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you.